So something really cool has just arrived in the mail. I've been waiting for this for a fairly long time. It's for the CB750 build. Let me show you what it is. So it's come all the way from Canada to Australia, and it's a new headlight. It's actually a custom headlight. This thing has been designed and built by Tom and myself. I put the idea up to him. This is not a unique idea, like this has been done before, so I'm not going to say that, you know, we came up with this idea. However, you don't see many of them, and I really like this look. So this is going to be on the 750. Tom's also made one for himself, so we made two. So we purchased the headlight itself and then just made the custom pieces on the inside to make it work. So Tom and I have decided we're going to call this headlight the Reactor, just purely because it looks like the chest piece of Iron Man right in the center there. It just kind of has a bit of a representation of that. This headlight took 2 months to get to me. It was apparently air freight, according to the documentation, but man, it must have done the milk run. They must have gone to every single stop on the way to get here, because 2 months from Canada to here, it's crazy. I couldn't believe it. So it's here and I'm really happy. I'm stoked. I think it looks absolutely amazing. All I did was I told Tom that I really wanted this design. He pretty much did all the legwork and designed it and pretty much put it together. And all I did was saw it on his bike and saw him through the process of actually manufacturing it. So now it's here in the flesh and I'm stoked. It looks exactly what I wanted. Let's get it on the 750 and see what it looks like. So before I get started, just letting you know the headlight brackets that I ran with for this build are the LSL headlight brackets. This is a 52mm for obviously the tube on the R6 front end, and this is a 67mm, I guess, this way. So let's give it a go, see if it fits on the bike. Otherwise I can keep these and I'll just have to get longer ones of these. I'm hoping this works because I really want to tuck that light in as tight as I can to the actual fork. So let's roll the music. As you can tell, I decided to put it up on the lift table just to be a better height for me to work at, and it's going to be a lot easier for me to basically take this top triple clamp out. It enables me to actually lock down the rear end onto the actual table itself, and I can also lock the front wheel in, so it just makes me feel a little bit safer that the bike's not going to move and roll over and whatever. Would just prefer it to be completely secured rather than trying to rush something and then regret it later in case it did fall or something happened. So let's get that top triple clamp off so we can get the brackets on. So if you have a cafe racer or any sort of motorcycle and you want to do a front end conversion like this, or you want to get some clip-ons, headlight brackets, rear sets, or even a top triple clamp, so go and check out the guys at Cognito Moto. They have a selection of all sorts of bits and pieces for bikes, just like this top triple clamp, and their quality is awesome, so I really rate their stuff. So if you'd like to purchase anything like this for your build, by using the link in the description will not only help support the channel but also help me create videos just like this one for you each week. The headlight's now in place on those brackets. I have about 30 millimeters left to play with just in here, and I'm going to utilize all of it. What I've decided to do is, rather than leave it as it is right now, so from the side profile, it just sits out a little bit further than what I want. So I'm definitely going to push it back, which means what I'll have to do is take these guys off. So I'm going to keep the clamps as they are, but I'm just going to change this piece. So I'm going to have another one of these. I'll see if LSL do one 30 millimeters back. If not, then I'll have one made. Just pretty much just to mount that headlight exactly where it is, but just 30 mils back. So basically where this is here, this line is where it's going to sit. So I think that's going to suit the bike a lot better. It's just my personal taste. Once that's done, then I'll work out what height I want this at. It's on, and I'm absolutely stoked with the look of it. Like, you can see why we call it the reactor. It just looks so different to everything else. You can buy headlights from so many different places, but to find something unique usually costs a lot of money, or just custom make it. So a big thank you to Tom for putting this together. So this was just an idea in my head. I approached Tom with it. He managed to make it happen, and I'm stoked that he did, because I'm really happy with that look. Just looks awesome. What I might end up doing is just cut a little template out of plastic. I've got a little bit of scrap, high density polyethylene plastic scrap, which is just about that same thickness. So I'll cut it out of that, and that way I can get the exact design of where the holes are, and then fit it on that and just see if it's going to clear in here, as well as obviously mount up and, you know, work out the way I want it to look. Let's do that now and just see how we go. So I'm going to use a steel cutting disc to cut this plastic out. But I just want to mention that if you do this, don't just use the disc by itself. There's a wax that you can buy that you can actually coat the blade with, which helps it cut aluminium and plastics and a few other bits and pieces as well. But just don't try and cut aluminium or plastic with these blades. They're not designed for it unless you add the wax. And this is just a tube of wax. I might leave a link to this actually if you want to buy some for yourself, because it's handy stuff and it's not that expensive. And how you coat the wax on is you just cut into the wax. So I've put these plastic brackets on. It's allowed me to push that light back enough, and I still have enough room behind there. So that is absolutely spot on. Only thing that I will change when I make the CNC aluminium ones is I'll probably change that top angle to make it, instead of sitting up like that, I'll probably just make it flat. You know, just run the same line of the bike, just so it looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. It still will look cool on that angle. It could even look cool on a downwards angle, but we'll see how we go. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll play around with the design, but the main measurement that I needed was the 2 bolts here. So to make sure that I had enough room, just keeping in mind that this here is on a slope, so the more I bring that down, the closer it's going to get to here. That's just one thing that I will have to keep an eye on.